So in this video, I want to talk about some of the more unique products and accessories that I've gotten to play with in 2022. So without wasting any more time, let's see if some of these products are worth considering for yourself. Let's get into it. So the first product we have is probably why you clicked on this video, because it was in the thumbnail, but it's by a company called Clumsy. Now yes, it sounds like if a baby said the word clumsy, but they make some pretty unique accessories. I've gotten to play with two of them. The first one is this like trifold double screen thing that you carry for your laptop, and you can kind of have this sort of workstation on the road, which is kind of nice to have. But that one's technically just two screens and anybody can really do that. But this one is a little bit more interesting because it's a mechanical keyboard with a built-in display right on there. So they definitely took a page out of those MagEZ Zen books that you guys see. I don't know if you guys have seen those laptops where they have that secondary display, where they kind of push the keyboard down to add room for a display where the keyboard would go. Now this does the exact same thing, but it's more freeform, right? It is a mechanical keyboard and a display, and it's a standalone product that you can plug into any device as opposed to it being built into the laptop. So this is called the Clumsy K2 multifunctional keyboard, and it brings a 12.6 inch 1920 by 515 display. So it's very, very wide in terms of a display because, again, it's not going to be a complete secondary display. It's just going to be kind of like a little add-on for you to put some of those kind of idle applications that you always have running in the background, whether that's a YouTube video, a Spotify playlist, maybe you have your Discord or your iMessage in there, or your WhatsApp or your Slack channel, kind of just lays there so you can have some eyes on it so you can see exactly what's going on, but you're not doing too much on there from a functionality and a productivity standpoint. I've seen people even go as far as coding on there just to kind of get those lengthy lines of code, because this is a very wide display in terms of aspect ratio. But again, it's for those applications that you kind of just want to throw on there and just be able to glance at really quickly and then maybe manipulate a little bit, but all the main work will be done on a main display. So again, from a resolution standpoint, it is a 1920 by 515. You're dealing with about a 12.6 inch display diagonally. You also have a 3:1 screen scale, a 1200:1 contrast ratio, and it is an IPS wide viewing angle display. And also the little cherry on top is that it's touchscreen. So if you do want to move windows around on your Mac computer, and it does work with Windows as well, not just Mac, and it even works with iPad OS too. So keep that in mind, but it is a touch screen as well right on the keyboard itself. And then in terms of I/O on the actual keyboard, you get a couple things. You get two USB-A ports and then a Type-C port. That Type-C port is to connect to your actual computer in order to get video onto the keyboard itself. And then also, just to give you a little bit of a better viewing angle, there are little kickstands on the bottom that flip up and down to give you more of an angle when you are typing and also when you are viewing on that screen. It is a glossy screen, so it is kind of reflective, so keep that in mind, but if you're indoors, you'll have zero issue with actually being able to see what's going on. Now this thing is a bit pricey. I believe it's around $420 retail, but I do think they go on sale very often. So I'll link this down in the description below if you guys do want to check it out, because it is a very cool accessory and it would make a great gift for anybody looking to kind of have a unique setup on their actual desk setup, or a unique setup to actually bring with them. The keys are extremely clicky, so if you are in the mechanical keyboard world and you enjoy that mechanical clickiness, then this one you're going to absolutely love. The keys have great key travel, and like I said, they're extremely clicky. And in the box itself, you actually get the keyboard. Obviously, you get a USB-C to Type-C cable for video pass-through. You also get a Type-C to video, HDMI, and USB-A if you guys don't have a Type-C ready computer. And you also get a little switch key tool, so you're able to switch out the keys if you have your own custom keys that you want to put onto there. And finally, you do get a palm rest at least included at that price point, which is always great to have. But like I said, this works with Mac OS, with Windows 10, Windows 11, it works with iPad OS, and it even works with Samsung DeX. So if you guys have a Samsung phone that you just want to plug in directly to here to get a little bit more display, by all means you can. One thing I will give you guys as a PSA is that if you have an M1 or an M2 powered computer, then technically you can only output to one external display, and this counts as your one external display. So if you have a new M2 MacBook Air and you plug it into this, then this is the only display you'll be able to plug into, versus if you have an M1 Pro or an M1 Max or an M1 Ultra, you'll be able to output video to this one as well as multiple other displays. Obviously with Windows, you can do multiple displays as well, and same with iPad OS. If you use it with iPad OS and extended monitor support, this will be the only display that you'll be able to extend to, because you're only limited to one external display on M-powered machines, not the M1 Pro and M1 Max. So that is the K2 by Clumsy. Like I said, I'll link it down below, but now let's move on to the second one. This next accessory is for iPad Pros. Now this is by a company called Pitaka. I actually teased this in a Twitter post the other day. If you guys might have seen that, follow me on Twitter to definitely stay up to date on videos and other things like that. But what this basically does is turns your iPad into being able to charge wirelessly. And I put that in quotations because there's a couple caveats, right? Again, first off, this is still in pre-production mode, so the fit and finish isn't absolutely perfect, but they have told me that by the time it does get into full production and release, then it will be ready to go. But I've been using Pitaka products for years and years. And before this, this, they actually had a little case that went on the iPad itself that still worked with the Magic Keyboard because it had that 3-pin connector pass-through. So now what they did is they basically took the same exact case and they added a USB-C cable, or USB-C dongle, I guess you would call it, that's built into that case that you plug into the iPad. And then on the rear of that case, you still have your 3-pin connectors for pass-through on the Magic Keyboard, but then you also have this kind of like X form of pin connectors, which attaches to the magnetic stand behind me to allow it to wirelessly charge. So you take the magnetic stand, also by Pitaka, it has those same pin connectors. You plug the actual stand into the wall, and then whenever you drop the iPad Pro onto this magnetic stand with that MagEZ case on the iPad Pro, then it's going to start charging. Now again, this is in pre-production phase, so we're not sure how fast the power pass-through is. As of right now, they're telling me anywhere from 12 to 18 watts of actual power to be put into this iPad Pro, which for me is more than enough, especially if I'm passively charging it when it's just on my desk. So then whenever you pull it off the stand, you have a fully charged iPad Pro, which is always great to have. And then on top of that, you can still use it with your Magic Keyboard without having to remove the case, because it does have the pin connectors on the rear to attach to the Magic Keyboard and any other 3-pin connector ready accessory. Now again, like I said, they're still in pre-production phase for the iPad Pro. They actually released this charging case or a similar one for the iPad Mini a couple months ago, which actually works extremely well and it works as advertised. One caveat with this for both of them, whether you're doing it for the iPad Pro or the iPad Mini, is that you do have a USB-C cable plugged into the USB-C port at all times. You can remove it and you can have it kind of like flap around if you want to, and it does stay sturdy and you can still plug in other peripherals through there, but it does take up that USB-C port, so it does work better in my opinion with the iPad Pro, because let's say you want to remove it from the actual charging stand and you want to put it on the Magic Keyboard, you can still charge the iPad via the actual USB-C port on the Magic Keyboard if you would like to, and it does remove easily. It's not too hard to remove the USB-C plug that's already built into the port on the case. But I think it's absolutely awesome that people are doing this, because it's not only a great product, but it's a great proof of concept. And just to have your iPad Pro always fully charged and passively charging in the background without it ruining your battery or anything like that, I'm all for. So that is by Pitaka. Definitely stay tuned. I'll link the iPad Mini one down below, and I'll let you guys know maybe with a community poll when it does release to the public. They're saying anywhere between December 25th and December 30th of this year still, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, and then these last 3 accessories all have to do with charging and mostly mobile charging. The first one, which we've talked about on the channel before, is by Momax, and it is their 3-in-1 travel charger. I just like the charger because it's compact, it has 10,000 milliamp hours, it has a very unique design, and it charges all 3 of your products at once with 0 issues. And it seems that with this Momax charger, they thought of everything. You have your MagSafe charger for your iPhone, then you have your Apple Watch charger, which you can either lay flat or prop it up at a 90-degree angle so you can have it at your bedside. And then you also have this little like cubby for your AirPods or AirPods Pro to be able to wirelessly charge, and there's a little slit in that cubby so you can able to see when it is charging, because it's perfectly lined up with the LED light indicator on the AirPods Pro. And again, this works with any AirPod Pro or any AirPod that has a wireless charging case. That includes AirPods Pro Gen 1 and 2, AirPods Gen 2, and AirPods Gen 3 as well. Oh, and technically you can charge a 4th device because it does have a USB-C out with up to 15 watts of power pass-through. So if you want to plug in, let's say, a 4th device, by all means you can do that, and it comes built in with 10,000 milliamps. And then the next one is by a company called Zeera. It's a Zeera wireless charger. It is basically what we want the MagSafe Duo charger from Apple to be, but at a much better price point and with more functionality. So this one again is by Zeera. It is basically a trifold version of the MagSafe Duo. So instead of just charging 2 devices, you can actually charge all 3 at once. Folds up nicely, so if you do want to charge just your iPhone and use it as a stand, you can do that. Or if you want to unfold the whole thing and charge your AirPods, charge your iPhone, and charge your Apple Watch, it works extremely well. And it's USB-C instead of Lightning, which I'm all for. I just want more and more USB-C and less Lightning. So that is by a company called Zeera. Very self-explanatory. I just like how they kind of took Apple's concept, they made it cheaper, and they made it more functional, because again, Apple just likes to up the price a little bit. And then the last charging product I do want to mention is by a company called Moft. They make a lot of origami style products to kind of enhance your productivity with your Apple products, but this one is a MagSafe battery pack. Now, MagSafe battery packs aren't unique or anything like that, but there's 2 things that make this one stand out. First off is that I think it's the only MagSafe charger that has a leather, or at least a faux leather finish. So it patinas nicely, it comes in different colors. It's actually very slim compared to a lot of the other ones that I've used. Very comparable to Apple's MagSafe battery pack as well, but with more milliamp hours. But the thing that I really like about this is it actually comes with a very unique charging cable. So you charge it via USB-C. You can use any USB-C charger to actually charge the MagSafe battery, but it comes with a magnetic USB-C charging cable, which is one of those charging cables where the tip of the magnet actually comes off. So if you want, you can keep the tip of the USB-C cable always plugged in to the Moft battery pack, and then you can use the magnetic cable to just attach it on there. and then you're charging at full speed with no issues. So you can technically leave it in there, leave this MagSafe battery pack always on your iPhone, and then just charge the MagSafe battery pack, and it'll charge the battery pack and your iPhone overnight. So you have a fully loaded iPhone, and you also have about 3,400 milliamp hours in that MagSafe battery pack. So those are the accessories, the unique accessories that I really wanted to share with you guys because I've been able to use them throughout the year, and I just think they're worth it because they're very quality products, B, they're very useful, and 3, most of them are conversation starters. I mean, probably not the Zeera wireless charger, it's just a more functional version of what Apple gives us, but overall, I just think these products are great and they were worth sharing with you guys. Like I said, I'm going to link them down in the description below if you do want to check them out. That Clumsy one, the keyboard, is actually really, really cool, and I do recommend trying it out at least if you guys are willing to do so. But that's going to do it, everybody. If you guys want to watch some more macOS, iOS, or iPadOS videos, click on one of these right here, and until next time, I'm Fernando. I'm out of here. Peace.